Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to be talking about one of the things that I feel should be one of the main deciding factors when it comes to investing into a booster box or into a set. And I got this idea from a video I watched earlier today, and the YouTuber was talking about how they evolved, for example, being a little too expensive because the chase card is only worth about $250. I forgot the exact raw price for the magic card, but that's what it was. And I guess he felt that the box was getting more expensive than it should be because the magic card couldn't keep up with that price, right? So but what I feel should be considered, and what usually is a much more deciding factor, is what that chase card can be at a PSA 10. And I'm going to show you here how the information correlates from PSA 10 to the booster box value and how it grows over time or declines over time, and just what it does. And you'll see how it actually relates and how it actually does prove that this should be a main deciding factor. And one of the main reasons why I'm making this video is because of those sets that are going to be out of rotation next year. I think that people are going to want to invest into some of those sets, and I think this is a good way to prepare for those things moving forward. I'm also going to stick just to the Sword and Shield era because the Sword and Shield era has had an opportunity for long-term growth. Even though we're seeing some still growing now, they have that history, that 5-year history. And Scarlet and Violet just does not. Right now, it's in a hype period. It's been very volatile for a little while now, and so it really hasn't had the history that Sword and Shield has to show you the information that we need to make these kinds of choices. But before we continue, don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Once again, like I said before, it helps the channel, and of course, I like hearing from you guys. Let me know your thoughts. So, but yeah, let's move forward. Starting with battle styles. So we know battle styles has had a really hard time taking off. It really has been sitting stagnant up until like the last few weeks. It has taken a little bit of a spike. But if we look at the Sleeping Tyranitar, right? Outside of the inception of the card, because we all know when a set comes out, it just blows up in price. So at some point, it was $960 at a PSA 10. And it took a dramatic drop all the way to the $300s and $400s, even below clearly to the 200s, and it stayed that way for years, and it kept going up until recent times where it climbed back up to the 400s, right? So we see that if we look at the battle styles, what it's done in the past 5 years, it has done just that. It had a little jump here, which doesn't correlate to the PSA 10 jump that the Sleeping Tyranitar had, and then that drop. It doesn't correlate to that, but the set itself, the box, stayed stagnant for almost 5 years. And finally, with the hype's help, it has finally started to increase in value, and as of late, hit this all-time high. But you can see how it correlates with the Tyranitar, and I know that $400 for a PSA 10 card isn't exactly cheap, but when it comes to a chase of a set, it actually is. And we're going to look at that next with the next set, and that'll be the Lugia from Silver Tempest. Of course, just like every card, after its inception, after its first release, it takes a nice dip, and over this period of 5 years, it has sat around somewhere from $300 to $400, and now getting into the hype, because this is a true chase that people really love. It has climbed up to 600 over here in February, and now has climbed up to $1,000. And even though this set hasn't had the growth that the card has had, it still has time to grow. There's still room for growth here, and that's a big thing to consider as well, because a PSA 10 card can really indicate what will be happening with that booster box. If there is demand for that chase card, there will be demand for that set, and that shows a lot more in that PSA 10 value, because people like PSA 10s. They just like them. They like 10s, and they like them protected. It's just a thing. It's just what it is. We all know, right? So this box was also stagnant for a good while, and finally started to see some growth with the help of the hype, of course. But people start to realize what they value in sets, and the Lugia V is literally the only thing carrying this box. and it is now finally ticking off. It is now a $400 box, and that shows with the Lugia. The Lugia started climbing, and so did the box. And it's like I said before, guys, it's not just hype, because if that was the case, it'd be every card would climb, and it doesn't. It's specific chase cards that take massive jumps. So next, we're going to be looking at the Blaziken from Chilling Reign, right? Blaziken, just like the others, for almost 4 years, it stays stagnant around the same 4 to 500. It's so crazy. There's 200 here, 400 here, back to the 200s, 500, and of course, we all know singles are very volatile, right? And then it finally, now with the hype period and with the box once again starting to take off, it's starting to rise again, right? It's starting to rise again, and Chilling Reign is one of those boxes that isn't taking dramatic leaps. I would say in the last few weeks, it has taken some dramatic leaps, but up until that point, it was just having this nice organic growth. And that's what you were seeing with the PSA 10 here. So you see the same thing here. The box does the same thing that PSA 10 card has. And even though when you look at these graphs, every box will look like this because we're hitting a huge hype period, you have to, the graph, the way that it looks is similar, but you have to look at the price points we're reaching here. Chilling Reign is now a $500 box. It is a $500 box with the help of that Blaziken and the fact that this is a great set. So keep that in mind. That Moltres as well. I didn't show that Moltres as well, but it's a really nice card as well. Really good at a PSA 10. Next, we're going to go to Lost Origin. We've seen Lost Origin take some big leaps as of late, right? Same thing. Even though this is a really nice price point from $600 to $700 where it was for a while, it has now taken some dramatic leaps earlier this year. Up until now, it is now a almost $2,000 card at a PSA 10, and the box did exactly that. When that card jumped, that card jumping with the box is so significant. There's no way a box like this would have climbed without that card in there. It's not happening. That Aerodactyl's not carrying it. Anything else is just not carrying this set like that. That chase card makes such a big difference out of PSA 10, and like I said, we're going to continue to see it. Fusion Strike, of course, Fusion Strike is a great set. It's got the Espeon in there. It's just got much more than just the Gengar, but the Gengar is the one that's dictating the pace. So, of course, we've seen all this stagnation just like all the others, and hype period comes around. It's a $1,400 card, and it is now gearing up to that $1,700, even higher up value in the 1800s, and the booster box is doing the exact same thing. And this is what I'm just trying to point out. They both they correlate. Everything is related. They are related. Without the Gengar in it, maybe the Espeon would do something. I could say similar to this card. It is a very, very nice card, but Gengar is a much more adored Pokemon. It's got the fan base is so much bigger behind it. Even though I do love Espeon, I'm just being honest. I love Gengar as well. This is the true definition of what a PSA 10 can do for a booster box. Now, another one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is because of another thing that I've been seeing a lot on YouTube lately, and it's been that content creators are talking about the sets that are going to be out of rotation next year. And in particular, it's sets from base up until Paldean Fates, right? So using this information, you should be able to choose boxes that will have dramatic growth in the long term, right? So I've chosen, of course, 2 sets within those sets that will have dramatic growth. One that's more expensive than the other, and the other one, if you need more budget, then you could go for that one as well. So the first set will be Paldea Evolved, right? Of course, it's at $375 right now, lowest listed. It is for sure the most expensive Scarlet and Violet booster box, but it's still probably going to have some dramatic growth. Why? Because that Magikarp PSA 10 is going to help carry the set. This Magikarp is people are valuing it. That's the thing. You don't have to like Magikarp. You just have to understand that the demand for the card is there, and it is there specifically for that PSA 10 value. It doesn't matter what that Magikarp is raw. It doesn't matter that it's $250 or $280 something raw. and then that box, you're thinking that box doesn't equate to it. It does not matter. What matters is this price right here. This $2,000, this $1,800, this price point for the PSA 10 Magikarp is what matters. And so, as of right now, for the sets that are gonna rotate out next year, the #1 set that will probably have the most dramatic leaps will be How They Evolved. In my opinion, this is what I feel is gonna happen, right? And if you feel that this set is too expensive at the moment and you want something a bit more affordable, I think second to this one will be How They Fates with the Bubble Mew. Once again, also dramatic leaps at a PSA 10, reaching $2,000 for some sales. It's cracked 500 raw, guys. 500. The demand for the card is there. So that means that the demand for the set is there. Keep that in mind. This should be a deciding factor. If you're looking into a set, if you're looking into something that you want to invest into, you need to use this as a deciding factor. It just has to be it. So yeah, guys, I think this is really valuable information. I think you should always keep this in mind. Just take the time to look back at those sets that are taking real leaps and then look at the ones that are struggling, right? Astral Radiance, even though it's not the worst box, it's clearly not the best, it is running behind at the back of the pack when it comes to the mid-tier sets. I do like the set. I talk about it all the time. It's a mid-tier set, but it's the worst one out of the mid-tier sets. It doesn't have that chase card like the Lugia or even the Charizard and Brilliant Stars that people really want. That Machamp is just not it. It's a great card, but it's not as strong as a chase as all the others. So please keep that in mind. Use this information going forward. Make the best decisions you possibly can so that you're, of course, happy with it. And then you can maybe minimize your risk. Of course, things like How They Evolved, the higher they go, the more risk there is involved because the higher the price point, it's just how it works. But I think this is very valuable information. I think I truly believe in this information. This is how I would move forward and how I will be moving forward. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to try to help you guys out with this. But so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found value. So yeah, guys, that'll be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace.